Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to promote the channel. This is the remainder of the holiday season when Ernesto and Sonia are texting up until December 31st. And they text on Christmas. Sonia did not even say Merry Christmas. Ernesto made mention of Christmas, but Sonya didn't say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, nothing. How depressing. But she does manage to mention that they need to have a talk when he gets home. There's some things that's not quite sitting right with her. Okay, so I may have to scroll through the screen a little bit because these are out of order and it's kind of better to read them in order so we can finish out the holiday season. So this is part 2 of Ernesto needs a mistletoe. He needs a visit from Santa Claus. He's pouring out his heart. He's feeling very emotional around, Christmas time. So here we go. 12:23. Ernest, I love you. Ernest, I love you. Sonya, 12:23. Love you more. Sonya, 12:24 says, call me, please. Sonya, 12:25. I love you. I thought you were sending your thoughts. I'm on the way home. Call me. So she might not have gotten, what he had already sent on 12:22 by then. But he does send more thoughts. 12:25 on Christmas night, Ernest sends a lengthy text. Good evening on this Christmas afternoon. It's been so much of a grueling 6 months mentally. I still have these chilling nightmares that someone is standing over me while I'm asleep. I know it comes from all the series of mind-boggling events that took place when I was taken into custody originally. Can you believe they made me stay in a holding for 4 days straight? There was absolutely no standing room, period. I could only doze off while standing for 20 minutes at the least. It wasn't until my legs started to give that I had no other choice but to lay on the floor in a space between a germ-infested toilet and the wall, which had mold growing up from the bottom to darn near the ceiling. Oh my God. Even then, I tried to get some sort of sleep only to be deprived of my rest by homeless and drug-addicted detainees who were standing over me, throwing up and pissing in the toilet. My God. They were undergoing withdrawals symptoms as their bodies were trying to cleanse themselves of all the toxins from their extended and abusive drug use. That is totally disgusting. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to read the Christmas stuff and then go to 12:27 because, like I say, these things are kind of out of order. 12:25 from Ernest, I love you or love you. 12:25, I miss you, my love, from Sonya. Sonya, oh my God, that's inhumane AF. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Life will get better. Trust me. 12:26. On my 5th day, they finally moved me into a quarantine dorm. The first 4 days had such an effect on my legs that they began to swell as well as my 2 feet. There was a nurse that worked the unit floor of the cell block I was being housed. I did my best to notify her of the swelling I was undergoing as well as the severity or the pain, only to be shot down with the words, "Fill out a medical request form." I did what she prompted and turned it into her that same day in hope that I would get some sort of response in 24 to 48 hours. The only thing that lady did was give me attitude and Tylenol. Attitude and Tylenol. Attitude and Tylenol. All right, so from Sonya, 1226. Good morning, my love. It is appalling that you went through and still are going through. This BS tried to say it nice, but when I could not find you, I felt some type of way, more confused, but something was off. Then, when I knew you were in jail, my heart sunk. I felt worse knowing you were there than just, I can't find him. To know what you went through and still going through affects me every day. I don't like to speak on my little issues looking at yours. We need to have a conversation about some things when you're home. I'm so uncertain about a lot of things, and I feel away. I love you, and I know things are going to change for the better. You have to call me. I worry about you a lot. Later, my love. Okay, so here, this kind of caught my attention because if she's going through something personally, she would have told him, like something related to her and her family or her and her business or whatever. She would have expressed, she would have told him. But here I'm thinking she's finding out some things about him, maybe his business dealings or other women that he's dealing with or have dealt with. And she wants him to know, I want to have a conversation with you when you get home. She says she's uncertain, and we know that she's insecure about the relationship. Never mind that he's married. She's more worried about the other side chicks. While they're supposed to be talking on the phone every day, and he's supposed to be, this businessman just taking care of business, but he's really putting his knob into other women. All right. 1227 from Ernest. Good morning. I will call you after 4 today. The courthouse has shut down and will not open until next Tuesday. This morning wasn't a bright morning for me. Feels like I just woke up out of the Vietnam War. I just can't seem to get over the day I got locked up 6 months ago. They kept me in a holding cell for 4 days, packed in there like sardines. Nowhere to sleep. I had to stand up and catch just about the little rest I could in such conditions. When I couldn't bear it no more, I had to lay down on the floor next to the cold toilet seat as newly arrested drug addicts coming down off of all sorts of toxins were standing over me, throwing up and going through body withdrawals. It smelled horrible. They were pooping on themselves. It felt like I was in The Walking Dead. They fed us sandwiches for 3 times a day. Both of my legs and feet started to swell up. I came in with my blood pressure medicine, and it still took 2 days before I even received a medical screening. 4 days later, it was so crowded that so many fights broke out in the holding cells. I'm wondering, how did he escape getting into a fight? The sheriff and the captain brought us all out and sat us in the middle of the floor to make more room for new detainees. He told us there was no more beds to send anyone upstairs to transitional housing. 5 days later, they placed us in a quarantine door for 24 hours, and that's when the gang activity started. I've been to prison before, but this is a new age in time. I've never seen so much violence in jail. From Ernest. Good afternoon. I'm going to give you a call after 4. I didn't sleep so well last night. I kept on relapsing and thinking about when I got arrested and how awful it was. Can you believe they kept me inside of a holding tank for 4 days straight? I had to stand up because there was no room to breathe darn near. When I could finally catch some sort of break, I would lay on the floor next to this piss and germ-infested toilet. New detainees that were avid drug users would stand over me and throw up in the toilet as they were coming down off their horrible toxins and having body withdrawals. They even started to poop themselves. Both my legs and feet swelled up real bad because I wasn't receiving my medication at the times I needed to take them. I came in with my medication, and it still took them 2 whole days before I even had a real medical screening. The tightness of the cell became so unbearable that the men in the cell became agitated and started fighting. So this is like I guess his message, he saw his message came back or something, so he decided to type it out again. It felt like I was in a scene from The Walking Dead. A few hours later, the captain and sheriff came down and removed us all from our cells and sat us on the floor, and they explained to us that there was no room or bed space in the transitional dorms, so we had to make even more room with the tiny amount we had for new detainees. I didn't even realize that slowly I was destroying my stomach from eating bologna sandwiches 3 times a day for 4 days straight. I couldn't even poop. Now, how are you destroying your stomach from eating bologna sandwiches? You had the option to skip a meal, didn't you? Some of this stuff repeats, so I'm not going to keep reading Ernesto's sob stories over and over again, and y'all may have heard some of this stuff already. So 1227 from Sonya. Good morning, love. 1227 from Sonya. Dang, I need to take you on vacation after this issue's over. I love you more today. And that's why he's doing. He wants sympathy from her. I guess he thinks she's going to get him out faster if he keeps telling her these stories over and over again. I'm so impressed by your knowledge of me. Never before has anyone paid this much attention. I can't wait to hold you. 1230. Nesto. 1231. From Sonya. I love you more every day. It will be okay. And then we go on to January, which that will be in the next video. So, like I said, Ernesto was having his mental break, and it's obvious he wanted to get out, what happened when he was first detained and how he was in the holding cell. He didn't have his medication. His feet and his legs were swelling. He was, sitting and laying by a poopy and pissy toilet. There was mildew growing on the walls. So he really, really painted a vivid picture of the conditions of that jail. That's why you don't need to live a life of crime, and you won't, and I know innocent people get picked up all the time and still have to go through those conditions when they haven't done anything at all. But being that Ernesto has been in jail or maybe even prison before, I'm pretty sure those were not cakewalk experiences. So he knows. And I don't know if Lamont has ever ended up back in jail since they were, roomies. I know Dre has not. So Dre learned his lesson. And this bozo here, this boo-boo the fool Ernesto here, has found himself back in jail. So he didn't learn his lesson. He knows he was not doing everything the legal way. He knows he wasn't. And if you're not knowledgeable of the laws, you're not knowledgeable how to maneuver with your businesses, you need to get some kind of mentorship. But no, he's a loner. He doesn't let people in his circle. He doesn't talk to people, but he still helped all these people. So, this was a kind of dreary, droopy part, in the text messages, because it's the holidays, it's wintertime. He feels like he should be out enjoying nature. But, you made the decisions you made. You did the things you did, evading, paying rent, evictions, manipulating these women, taking their money. And here you are. So you almost feel sorry for him. But no, you don't. You really don't. You really don't.